Well, hello friends. It's been a while. Welcome back to the mud shop. I ran a Bisque fire 2 days ago, so it's had plenty of time to cool off. I have not lifted the lid to peek to see how everything went. I fired to cone 04. I did a 3 hour preheat or candle, as you might call it, and then a 30-minute hold at the top. You don't really have to do a hold for Bisque fire. I just do. I had some pieces that I actually made last week. I know they look dry, but the reason I did 3 hour preheat is just in case. And I have one piece that's a little bit thick because I made a Bisque mold to make trees with. So here we go. I'm crossing my fingers that my stuff I made last week made it. And looks like it did pretty well. Let me let you peek inside of the kiln so you can see how I loaded it this time. I did stack stuff up, if you'll see there. You see my find it on here. Let's get to this side. Anyway, you can see how I got it stacked, stuff on top of stuff. Well, let's get in it and see how it turned out. Try to make this a quick little video. All right, here is my cone. I don't do Target cone. I just do the 3 cone pack. I just do the Target cone. This is an 04, you see, and it did get to cone 04. I'm good. Even if it's close, I count it because you can Bisque fire to other temperatures and it still be good. All right, everything sounds good, looks good. Here's my little plate, and can't wait to glaze this. This was made with a texture roller from Coal Mountain Pottery. And let's see, let's get some stuff started. I had to do a replacement pitcher. I made a pitcher last year, and I say last year because I've been out of whack since I had 2 surgeries, one in August and one in September last year, and I'm just now back in the shop. But I had made this pitcher, and the handle broke off, so I'm remaking it. So it's got a little more shrinking to do. They should match when I get them done, because I did make the little glasses that match it. So I'll reglaze this that same pattern and same color. Inside here are a few little items. I loaded this kiln. I have some little stars. I'm making a star tree, and I'm making some little packages that'll go at the base of the tree. So I'm going to be extra careful with that tea pitcher that I don't knock that handle and break it. All right, here is my Bisque mold. Yes, it did make it. I want to do a coil tree, and I'll use this as my former and wrap the coils all around it. This will help the clay to absorb some of the moisture out of the clay. I can pull this out. But this will stay like this. I will not finish firing it. That is a tool for the shop. It is my Bisque mold for cones. You can use that for making gnomes or whatever. I did stack some of these, but I put grog under it. So you can see the grog on the back. Just wipe it off, it's fine. Always be careful when you're doing that, wiping it off with your hand. If it's got any burrs on it, you can cut yourself. So anyway, so here these are. I did stack 5 thick, but but because I had so much in the weight of it, I did put grog under it so it could move during the firing. Of course, I will not be able to stack them when I do the glaze fire. All right, here are the other stars. This is a 5-point star. And that's 5.2, but it's a little bit different. So I'll make 2 different star trees. A few little ornaments. Let's see. I have stuff stacked in here. These I had just standing up, leaning onto stuff. I've never done that before in my kiln. I've always laid it flat for Bisque fire. I figure I've got to have enough room to glaze fire it, but this will probably be 2 glaze firings to get this done. But that's all right. This is also a tree luminary. I'm going to glaze this in a green with some white on it, like snow dripping. So I'm hoping it'll like a flux that'll run. So here it is on the inside. It's big enough inside. Actually, see the points. You can put a fairy light inside there, which is what I intend to do. Also for my trees, I got the cutters from DaylightDesignGifts.com to make the big tree. And I've got that. I did make a double star for the top. See how it looks on the here? I did put holes in it so that I can actually hang ornaments on it, the little smaller ornaments. And I used the same cutter that I only got one cutter. I used this same cutter and just shrank it a little bit to make a shorter one, a smaller one. See, here's the little small tree, and I did it the same way. I've got the holes so I can hang ornaments on it. But these will be green and a little bit of snow tops on them, spots on them, a little bit of runny. All right, and then around the base of the trees, I've got some I'm trying to match a set of dishes. It's called, the brand of dish is called Spode, S-P-O-D-E. And in the picture on the dinnerware, it shows the trees with packages under it. So that's why I made all these little bitty gift packages. And I'll be glazing them different colors. Everything so far has made it. Let's see. Here is a luminary that I made to put a candle in, or a tea light, or fairy lights, either one. I did do a solid bottom on it, but you can see it's got the little fairy house-like texture. This was from a rolling pin texture roller. I did make a lid for it. I made the fairy luminary a couple weeks ago, and then I made the lid last week. Okay, here is the little sugar canister. It's got roosters on it. Look at the roosters. I got one on each side. These roosters were from Cold Mountain Pottery texture roller. Let's see. This has got the little flange on it. So this will fit. There we go. There we go. Yeah. All right. Here's all my beads. Now, when I stack the star tree, these beads will be in between it. And I'm going to glaze them, stack them, and fire it all stacked together so that it fuses together with the glaze. So these are my beads that go with it. All right, I know I've showed you my little village on my Facebook page. Here's my little village. I kind of just stuck them together to Bisque fire. Each one of these little houses will be separate. This little house has a recliner in it. There's the little recliner. This one has a little bed in it. See the little bed? And the door. I'm going to glue the door in. We'll fire it where it's partially closed. Here's the other little house. This is the only one with a bottom. And in the center, I've got everything laying down so it doesn't fall over and break. But I have the little Christmas tree. I have a couple little trees, a little boy and a girl. And then I have the 2 little snowmen. And I'll show you a little more of that. You can see all the stuff. I just don't want them to get broken. The hands and stuff on the snowmen are very easy to break. All right. Okay, I'm going to carefully lift off this shelf because it has grog on it. I have a box over here to dump that in. And I will tell you, never run your hand across it. I have a brush over here, like just a regular old-timey hairbrush, and I'll brush that off real good. All right, here is another one of the trees. I did like just a spiral around it and a little bird on top. And this will also be a luminary. Say, why all the trees? Well, I missed Christmas, so I'm catching up. And because I know what happened last year, I wasn't expecting stuff. You never know. So, I'm getting my stuff done early for next year's Christmas. I decorate a table for our church for the senior adults every year, and this coming year theme will be trees. These are also little trees, and I've got this on the little nichrome wire hooks on top of each one of these. I did these, took a regular cookie cutter. I cut two. I cut one in half, and then I put them together. And I put the nichrome wire on it. I can either use it just to tie a ribbon on top, or I can use it as an ornament. But they're pretty heavy, so they're really too heavy for an ornament. So I thought a ribbon on top would be a nice little addition to it. Trees, trees, and more trees. Let's see. Here is the lid to the fairy house. And I know when I made it, there was only one way that it would fit on top of it. Let me make sure it's still going to fit. All right. Okay, it was going to go this way. Yay, it fits. I got a little chimney on top. I did put a hole in it, so if it had air in it, it would be okay. Now, I will not fire these together, final firing either, because I want this glazed all the way to the top. But I won't glaze the inside of either one of them. I'll leave them raw. So here we go. Okay, here is my bird feeder. Look here. All right, here's the lid. You tie your cable through here where it hangs. You fill it up. It'll slide up the cable, and you fill it up and slide it back down to hang it. But there's 4 little places to feed. All right, a year or so ago, I made a set of canisters, and one of the lids did not fit flat because I had to fire them separate because I wanted them glazed all over. So I remade the lids. I made 2. So out of the 2, one of them will have to fit it. Anyway, that's the lid for my canisters, replacement lid. And I did stack them to fire, and they did well. All right, here's a bowl, 2 little bowls. Just one little bowl. Actually, I made this. I was taking a workshop in September, and I made this to carve on. See, no texture on it anywhere. And then I had my surgery, and I got to watch the class, the workshop online, but I didn't get to participate because I was laying flat on my back in the bed. So no carving, so I got to let the glaze do the talking. So here's 2 little bowls. All right, 1 fairy house mug. See the little fairy house door? That's from a texture roller. A little fancy handle for it. Turned out well. And I did the roller on the bottom too. And I'll do some kind of underglaze on the bottom and white back so it'll show the texture, but not have any glaze on the bottom because I don't want it to stick to my shelf. All right, let's get down a little bit further. Okay, these up. All right, well, let's see. Here are the other star trees that'll make the tree. And I did stack 5. I didn't put grog under this one. It just didn't seem as heavy. And then these 3 sat by theirself. But each one of these will have one of those beads in between. So it'll make it pretty tall. I'll be sure to video whenever I get that done, so you can see what it looks like. Right, here's some more of the stars to get all that done. I'll probably put a few underneath the bottom, like in the base, like the trunk of the tree. And I really want it to sag just a little when you stack it, and you have the little pole bead in between. The ends might sag a little, and I'm hoping for that, so that gives it more tree effect. All right, here's another plate that I had that I was going to carve during the workshop. Didn't make it. So again, I'll have to let the glaze do the talking. This is a little, I just sketched out a little church, little design around the rim. That's what I do with my clay. When I get through at the end, I don't have a scrap bucket. I use the clay all the way till that's the last drop of something. Okay, here is a big plate that I made. I'm not sure about this. I'm going to check and see. It's got a crack here, and I don't know if it went all the way through or not. I'm going to go ahead and glaze it, see if it'll fill in with glaze, and I'll use it in my house. I won't give it away or sell it or anything, but I'll use it in my house. I love eating off this size plate at home. And that's a different kind of clay. That's the standard speckled 112, speckled buff clay. It'll be just a little brownish color when it's fired. I don't think I've got something in here of that color that I could show you. All right, here's the rest of the little beads that go in between the trees that I'm stacking. And I fired it all piled into this little tree plate with the church texture. Now this texture was from a texture roller from Coal Mountain Pottery. Has the little church and the little bushes on the sides. And it fit just right inside this little tree form. Okay, down one more level. Okay, again, now these little trees, I did like the other small ones. I put the nichrome wire on the top of them. I took one little cookie cutter, cut out 2 trees, cut one of the trees in half, and put on each side. And put the nichrome wire in top. So these are small enough and light enough, they could be an ornament. So we'll probably use these. The ones I just showed you are a little bigger. So I've got several of these. Right? So you've got a bunch of them. I bought that one cookie cutter, the big one, and then I just took that same method and ran with it. Okay. I'm attempting to make the spode pattern dishes. All 4 of these are the same. They have the tree pattern on them. And I did fire them all separate because underglaze transfers might stick if you stack them together, which they have feet on them, so actually they could have stacked in the kiln to Bisque fire because they wouldn't be touching it because it's raised up here where it would be on here. But the plan is to glaze this and color all this in to make it match the spode. The spode has a little box packages on the bottom and a little bit of a trunk, so I'll try to do that. It also has a green band around it, so I'm going to try to see if I can mimic that and make these look like the spode plates. If that works, I'm going to do the next size up, get the bigger plate. and do the same thing. So that is my goal. Get down to the very bottom. All right, let's see. These out. All right, in here, I keep the very bottom of my kiln, I keep grog in the bottom. I don't ever sweep it out. I add to it as I need. All right, here's a little dish, and like the other little round plate, this was the scraps of my clay the day I finished making everything. I have this kind of ornament with that same tree. Well, it's a little different tree, but I will color this with either Colors for Earth, or I might do, actually they're two different tree patterns, but I'll use Stroke and Coats probably, or Colors for Earth. Here's one tree, here's the other tree. So these you just put a hook on them or a ribbon. All right, and this one is the rooster texture roller. You see there's the rooster. It's got all the different flowers and stuff from Cold Mountain Pottery. And here's what the back looks like. All right, the next big dish I have another one of the little trees. I have another one of these that I had stacked and stood up on top. And then I'm trying this out and see. Now this is pretty big. So this is a stamp cutter from Daylaw Design Gifts. I do have my Maker's Mark stamp on the bottom. And here's an ornament that's got the word leave on it. And here, this platter has an owl texture on it. And the little trees and stuff on it. And this is from Cold Mountain Pottery. All right, and what's left in here is a bunch of these. Now this is smaller than the snow globe I just showed you. This is a little bit smaller. So these will be my ornament for the year of 26. I get started on them so I'll go ahead and take time to glaze them and stick a few in the kiln each time I fire the kiln all through the year till I have them all done before Christmas. Here's another stack. A lot of hand painting in that. All right, here's some more. The little stars that go for the stacked trees. A lot of stuff to put together. And what's left are the rest of the little tree ornaments. And they're different trees on them, but they look pretty much the same. Here's the little fat tree. Here's one. It's a little different. This one's a little different. This one's a skinny tree. Here's another, let's see. That's got the ornament on it. That doesn't. And this one has the little ornaments. So that's what I've got. Lots of glazing in my future. I will let you know when I get them done. And hopefully I'm back in the shop now for a while. I do have a little family thing going on. So I have a daughter that needs some surgery. So I'll be out for a little while. Hopefully not long this time. And let me show you the table of my goodies. So I will be glazing lots and lots of stuff. So make you dizzy here. All right. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time in the mud shop. Bye.